Hey, this thing's on. How's it going, everybody? Checking in, Darren Williger, the 100 days, focusing on reduction of weight and blood pressure and basic accountability in life. Wow, I'm in downtown Milwaukee checking in from a hotel where I've been at a work event for the past couple of days, and I need to focus more while I'm traveling on keeping fitness commitments, as I have been slipping a little bit the past 2 days, and I don't want to beat myself up. I'll say I slipped a little bit yesterday. I got in some push-ups, some sit-ups, some stretching, but not a real intense break a sweat kind of workout. And one of my goals, or at least perceived awareness, is that sweating every day and getting things out of the body and focusing on growth is going to help me to drop the pounds and drop the blood pressure. So I failed myself on my commitment yesterday. I'm going to make sure that I do keep it today. My BP has been rather high this morning, and I've been checking with this wrist meter, which I'm aware the wrist meters are not nearly as accurate as the ones that go on the arm or the cuffs and all that. So I have to take that into account. However, it's ridiculously high. And I tried using my respirate, which I did bring with. Good work, Darren. And it helped to drop it a little bit. I'm aware continuously that my blood pressure is the result of internalizing stress. There's not like family patterns, there's not a lot of genetic predisposed blood pressure conditions. Most of my peers have blood pressure issues. It's definitely a work-related thing, and I enjoy what I do. The parts of work that spike my BP are generally issues out of my control. I think almost exclusively they're issues out of my control. You know, like email going down, things like that. Unexpected, inappropriate deadlines. Be honest, this week with Rosh Hashanah, I was asked to do something and felt very squeezed to do so. I've been having an internal wrestling about that. And actually, it's kind of creeped into some dreams, too. And I honestly think that's what really spiked things pretty high this morning. Is I just did not have a good night's sleep. I kept waking up thinking that boss's boss was asking me to do something by close of business, and while I was sleeping, it was weird. I need to practice some more relaxation exercises in the evening before bed, and I want to start embracing fitness immediately first thing in the morning. And I could have done that today. I could have done that yesterday. I definitely need to make sure that while I'm traveling, no matter what's going on, that these things are important. And here's what I thought about today, too. So if I were to look at overall, where I'm at with my fitness goals and where I need to squeeze more in, I think we all fall into these patterns of always having things fall by the wayside and needing to continuously work harder, sleep less, do more. And no matter how much we prepare, we can't always be prepared for everything. And one of the things I thought about this morning was just the simplicity of taking 10% of my daily life and making sure that that is focused exclusively on health. It sounds simple, 10%. How many of us actually carve out that amount of time? So what is 10%? 24 hours a day? Is that 2.4 hours? I think we have to work with waking hours. I definitely do not get 8 hours of sleep a night. I get probably 5, 6 if I'm lucky, and that's something I need to increase too. However, let's take a look as if I had 8 hours of sleep, leaving 16 hours of work daytime. Well, 1.6 hours of fitness doesn't sound unusual. That would be time for using the respirate. It's a biofeedback thing I'm using. And it would be time to get in the workouts. I don't think it's inappropriate to say that 90 minutes a day could be dedicated towards making sure my life is healthier and better and lived well. And that's something I'm contemplating on today. Maybe drinking yesterday had an impact on the blood pressure. I'm a professional drinker, being that I tend to drink for professional events and activities. It's fun to bond with coworkers and customers and stuff like that. But I tend to not drink like solo, or I make wine, but don't drink wine even a couple, 2, 3 times a week sometimes not at all. I'm increasingly aware that my blood pressure and health issues are probably 100% career-related, but not necessarily all caused by the career, but instead how I internalize and deal with stress over unplanned circumstances. That's something I need to make sure I'm improving myself with constantly. In fact, even meditation exercises and different types of stretching positions will allow me to reduce my stress and my blood pressure more. So continuously to adding these different types of activities into my life is going to make things a little bit healthier. That's where I'm at. I think I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not keeping my goals yesterday with fitness, and I'm calling myself out on it. I need to learn to find some greater balance with work stress as well. And I'm going to look closely today at those variables, the things out of my control. The boss's boss reaching out during a high holiday, the email server going down, the tracking tools, stuff like that I have zero control over. And I need to take a look and understand best how to control those things. I didn't have an out-of-office message on my email saying, hey, it's a major holiday. I didn't. However, being that it was a major holiday, one of our 3 biggest of the year, I would assume somebody would have a calendar in check. That really got to me. That really got to me. I'm not sure why it got to me so much. I'm not Orthodox, but I spent time Sunday over preparing for the work week to make sure that I took care of everything I needed to so I could take off Monday and Tuesday for the holiday and spend some time with family and embrace the new year. And for me, obviously, the new year is also the start of my 100 days. And I put in time Sunday. I took my Sunday weekend and devoted it to work. And it was my mistake to even check email at all on Monday. I should have just left it alone. I peeked in to make sure there are no emergencies, no fires. And I get this email stating I had to have something completed by close of business. I didn't even get it during normal business hours. Several peers and my manager were CC'd on this. And majority of what was being asked for were things that I had already taken care of Sunday. There were a couple of other things that I had to do work on. I ended up staying up past midnight, articulating my response and making sure that everything's all copacetic. It bothered me a lot. I've never felt professionally squeezed spiritually like that before. And I know nobody put a gun to my head and said, produce or die. But I do that inside my head, and I create this internal stress, or I absorb it that way. I have a call with my manager tomorrow, and I'm going to flat out ask, what would have happened if I didn't respond to that message on Monday and enjoyed the holiday without that? And that clarification should probably help me greatly going forward. I need to draw some more boundaries, some more lines, just a whole package of how I live my life. I think creating more matter of fact of, hey, this is how I do things, is going to eventually help others to understand what I do, how I do it. It's not that complex. And that goes continuously to include the 10% of the day devoted towards health and fitness. And if I explain to people this is what I do, and it also will create that habitual pattern of getting up earlier and earlier to make sure I achieve these goals. So it's a process. I don't want to kick myself that I've had some blood pressure spikes over the past couple of days. It could be this risk meter. It could be this increased anxiety. And it could definitely be related to me internalizing all the work stress and things like that. So it is what it is. And I need to learn to deal with it. Again, there's nothing I've shared today or in general with my thoughts here that isn't something I can find a way to balance internally. It's how I process. It's definitely something I need to learn to deal with. There wasn't as much reason to be stressed this morning as I interpreted it to be. Little things, email wasn't working for 3 hours on my phone, had to go through tech support. It's not the end of the world. It's frustrating as it takes cycle time away from other activities, but overall, it's not the end of the world, and I need to learn to accept that. I need to learn that if email goes down, it goes down. I think it's going to be a matter of life, it seems, going forward. If the past month has been any indication, I need to be cool with that. I've had some incredible events this week, too. I'll be catching up with some more of that on the weekly vlog. I want to make sure I'm focusing these particular messages towards my accountability on dropping pounds and dropping the blood pressure. And looking forward to making more progress with each. So Anyway, I got to get to an event. I'm not stressing about it. I got plenty of time. See you, friends, soon. Thanks for tuning in.